Hello, everybody. My name is Brian, and this will be my presentation on Amanita muscaria, or fly agaric as it is known. This will be my PSA. So to start off, the origin of fly agaric has actually been around for 4,000 years. It predates alcohol by about a couple thousand years as well. It can mainly be found in the UK, Europe, but mainly UK with the woodlands where there's a lot of foliage, trees, grass growing out of it. That's the type of environment where it tends to come about. And long time ago, actually, when it predates, because it predates alcohol, uh, in Asia, shamans would use it as an ingredient for their drinks called soma, where they would use it to experience hallucinations for their religious ceremonies. So to continue on, agaric is very toxic, but it has been known to help those with certain conditions. One of them is sleeping disorders. If you have trouble sleeping, it helps you sleep better. The other one is anxiety conditions. If you have mental health issues, PTSD, you tend to get anxious and from time to time in your life, this can definitely help you. It has been reports and shown that it helps calm those and gives people the reserve and the calm they need to be able to cope. And finally, it also helps as a painkiller. It helps people dull their senses so they won't be able to feel as much pain as they normally would. Moving on, fly agaric in its mechanism of action is that it interacts with the glutamate and GABA neurotransmitters foremost, but mainly the glutamate. So ibotenic acid and mucimol can be found from agaric. That is the main compound. However, it is very structurally similar to GABA and ends up interacting with the central nervous system, which is our brain. And so from there, ends up stimulating our glutamate receptors, where our brain will start end up. That's where we end up hallucinating, pretty much. That is how people get hallucinations. We start to see things. People have different experiences. It can affect our different lobes and areas of our brain that can make us see certain things that may not actually be there, but it is because of the ibotenic acid and the mucimol compounds that is found from the drug or mushroom, I mean, since that is what it is as well. Some of the main symptoms and the clinical manifestations from agaric would be vomiting, dizziness, having hallucinations, of course, because it is a psychedelic mushroom, having involuntary movement, and seizures. From those are the side effects that you can experience from this. And I will be explaining more about how it makes you, especially being nauseous and vomiting. Moving on. To start off, our digestive system, the important functions of it is that it helps break down foods, nutrients, carbs, fats, and proteins from the foods we eat every day. And to know that is that our body just absorbs these nutrients to help our body grow, repair, and energize. And overall, that's what you really need to know about the digestive body. The major components would be our mouth, esophagus, liver, stomach, pancreas, large intestine, small intestine, and our rectum and anus. Our mouth is what we use to eat the food, and the food gets sent down from the esophagus to the stomach. Our food gets absorbed from the small intestine into our bloodstream. That's where our nutrients, carbs, and all our nutrients, that's how our body allocates it and takes it from our food. The food afterwards gets put into the large intestine and takes the undigested food and converts from the waste from liquid to stool. So from there, that's where our human fecal matter gets made, and it moves from our rectum and into our anus, and that's how we end up. That's the end of the digestive system. And so I just wanted to move on as well and let you know for the DA schedule for fly agaric. As of right now, there is no current DA scheduling for agaric. However, magic mushrooms are considered Class A, as you can see here in British classification of drugs of abuse, cocaine, crack, ecstasy, heroin, magic mushrooms. That is considered Class A, similar to how the DA Schedule 1. However, in the United States, right now, it is actually legal in most states, all except Louisiana. But however, I just want to let you know that even though that it is not illegal, it is still known that you should be very, very cautious when taking it, especially about the symptoms that you may experience and its side effects. So how does agaric affect our digestive system? Well, it absorbs the mucimol and ibotenic acid, which is the chemicals that you can find from the mushrooms. And from there, um, our symptoms ended up becoming vomiting and diarrhea, causing disturbance in our bowel movement, impacting our stomach and large and small intestines. And from there, this is how we get diarrhea, vomiting, nausea. Um, so from there, that's just how agaric affects our digestive system because we can end up it because the food gets taken down to a digestive process, it can affect the nutrients. It takes the nutrients or the chemicals that's inside the food and it gets put into our bloodstream, the ibotenic acid or mucimol, and the effects and the compounds of agaric will be put into our bloodstream and can also end up disturbing our bowel movement, which is how you can get diarrhea and also vomiting and nausea. So there's that. Well, so I just want to let you know, moving on from that, some interesting facts about agaric. When researching this, I found out that this mushroom, I thought no wonder it looked familiar because it ended up actually inspiring Super Mario Brothers and how the mushroom, the most iconic video game or one of the most iconic franchises of all time, this mushroom is based off of this as well. That's really that's incredible. I just wanted to people to know that as a super interesting fact that I didn't know. And another one is that it inspired the appearance of Santa Claus. So and also the Christmas tree. The Christmas trees back then, when because it predates alcohol by thousands of years, these were the original ornaments. They would collect these mushrooms from trees or they would actually put it on trees and they would use it as decorations. So you know how ornaments are usually red? It's because the mushrooms were the original red ornaments. And another one, if you were to flip the mushroom upside down, that is Santa Claus's hat. That's why his hat is akin and very similar to that of a fly agaric. And that's just one of the interesting facts I wanted you to know about agaric. And this was my presentation and my PSA. And thank you for listening to me. And I hope that we have all learned something about my drug of abuse. Thank you.